Hello, beautiful people. So I've just done a sort of vague chat with someone just about half an hour ago about my top 19 essential oils to support people when they're grieving. And I thought I'd just do my top 4. So I have got a document that's 19, and I am going to be writing a sort of ebook around it based on my experiences. But I thought I'd give you guys the top 4. So I'm going to do something I normally don't do, which I sort of don't like when I'm doing live. I'm going to sort of read a bit from my document, because my document is sort of here, and it's got, so it just got me thinking about, like, if I had to really narrow it down to 4, and I wouldn't narrow it down to 4, but I'm going to tell you it anyway. So my first one is the Forgive blend. So I love this blend. I use it every day on my back because it supports the healing that I'm going through with my back, because there's some sort of emotional issues around my back problems. So this is a great blend. So I have that with frankincense as well. But I love this. And what I was talking about with this, and this really helped, was sometimes when you're sort of grieving the loss of someone, you can get quite angry about the fact they're not here anymore, which isn't really their fault. So I love the Forgive blend. So what I recommend is you use it with the Ho'oponopono Forgive prayer, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you. And I would say that a number of times. So what I'd advise is getting this blend, rolling it on your pulse points, especially L7, the lung. So you're going to be breathing in deeply, which is another great thing when you're feeling stress through loss or grief. Obviously, some of the things that happen is you don't breathe as well. So anyway, to get your breathing better and open everything out and open up your chest and just get yourself working better. So I would roll this on your pulse points or whatever, or if you've got the oil, rub it in your hands, breathe it in, and then do the Ho'oponopono prayer of forgiveness as many times as you feel is necessary. I sometimes sort of hold my heart. So I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you. So, and the lovely thing about that is that it can be forgiving the situation where you might have lost something, or forgiving the person who's died, or the pet that's died, or forgiving the thing that's gone missing. So sometimes, especially children, if they lose their favorite toy, that can be really traumatic. So this is a lovely one, and you're forgiving yourself for being annoyed about it or angry about it or whatever. So it's such a multitude of fantastic things that I love that blend, and it just goes really lovely with the Ho'oponopono prayer of forgiveness. So that's oil blend number 1. Oil blend number 2, Serenity. So this is one that I use every night before I go to bed. It's the restful blend. I actually take the pill version, but I've also got the oil, and my husband used the oil to support his sleep as well. So Serenity is lovely, and what I love about it is it's got some of the lovely grounding oils. So it's got vetiver in it, and I put that as a separate one. So vetiver is from the roots of a plant. It's a very thick oil. It's a great oil for supporting sleep, relieving anxiety, and encouraging focus. And I love the fact that it helps you tap into the roots. So if you're grieving someone, so after my dad died, it was really nice to sort of think about where that oil had come from, and really tapping into the roots of my connection with him, and also other people who died in my life. So my grandparents and their parents and all those ancestors who sort of are behind you. They have your back. They literally have your back. They want you to live a wonderful life. The fact that you're here is absolutely amazing. But sometimes when you're in that grief, you need to be reminded that you can tap into that ancestral power of the people who've come before you and all the experience they had. Like, only a couple of generations ago, they lived through a world war and they came out of it. Or they didn't come out of it, but they were there and they experienced that, and you can tap into the power of that. And then also to tap into and be grounded with the idea that grief is normal. It's a healthy response to having lost something. Now, whether that's grief around someone who's died, or grief over, losing part of your existence. Like, I remember when I realized that I wasn't having any more children, and I really sort of grieved over the fact that I wasn't going to be pregnant again. So it can tap into that just normal feeling of, oh, it's a shame that I'm not going to hold another baby and have that baby smell. But that ability and the fact that I did have children, I bring that with me. They're my ancestors as well. They're going to be here after me. So vetiver is lovely, and that's part of the Serenity blend. And then lavender is part of the Serenity blend, and I had that as a separate one on here as well. So lavender is great. It's a calming oil. A lot of people know it's really good for bites and burns and stuff like that as well. But this is one I found really useful, and I don't particularly like the smell of it, so it's great that it's in a blend that I prefer. So I used this a lot when I was thinking about my dad, and I wrote a lot of poems after he died. I also wrote a song, and it was a great way to sort of really calm down and check in how I was doing. And to be able, I was trying to write sort of a daily diary to check in with my emotions, but also to track sort of how I was sleeping, how I was feeling, what was going on with my eating. My eating got quite erratic. So it was a lovely one to have on the corner of the page when I was writing stuff, and sort of common questions I was journaling over, just because of my sort of background in soul work and dream work and stuff like that. What do I want to take forward with me from my dad's existence on this earth? So this was really around the loss of my dad, but I've thought about that from the point of view of other losses I've experienced in life as well. What do I want to learn from that? What do I want to be grateful for that I still have, and stuff like that? So really getting into that. So that's in the Serenity blend. There's other lovely things. So there's ylang ylang in the Serenity blend. That's really good as an antidepressant. It reduces anxiety, but it also balances and regulates heart function. And when you're feeling lost, sometimes you really feel it there. There's a real deep loss. So it physically helps regulate your heart function, but obviously that's going to touch you emotionally as well. So that's in the Serenity blend. And the thing I use that for before I go to bed, to have restful sleep, is also, I'm a dream guide. So dreams are a wonderful window to the soul. I would advise anybody out there to keep a dream journal. If you don't remember your dreams, write how you feel when you wake up, and actually go to sleep with the idea of wanting to have a dream and remember it, because they're a really good way of sort of helping you live your life and experience emotions while you're dreaming, sorting through what's going on with your brain. But they can also be helpful in where you go in the future and stuff like that. So dreams help support emotional well-being. They help your body, mind, and soul heal whilst you're sleeping. So Serenity is a wonderful blend with all those oils in, and it's just great. Breathe deeply before sleep, added to your pillow, and it's going to help you sleep better, which is really important if you are experiencing loss or grief. So that's oil number 2. Oil number 3. Oh, I love this one. Console. As the name suggests, it's the oil of, I actually don't know what they call it, comfort. It's the oil of comfort, but it's for people who want to feel like if you're consoling someone. So I use this a lot whilst my dad was dying. It's great for when you want to sort of just feel those emotions of loss. But what I used it for, and this is something, grief lives, and grief and loss and those feelings live in your lungs. And if you're not breathing properly, it affects everything. Your body needs oxygen, your mitochondria need oxygen to function. So if your lungs aren't working properly, and that's in the Chinese medicine, they believe that grief and loss lives in your lungs. You want to keep that healthy and moving and everything. So this is a great one. I mean, firstly, it smells amazing. Again, it's got rose in it, or that belief that we're sort of interconnected and all stuff like that. And ylang ylang and frankincense. Did I just say that? But great rolled on lung 7 point. Now somebody's going to tell me I've done this on the wrong side. On that, I can't remember which side it is. Somewhere along here, you've got lung 7 point, acupuncture speaking. So roll it on there, on those really important meridian pulse points. That's really going to support your lungs, which is really important when you're experiencing loss or grief or any of those things. Frankincense is also separate on my list because I love frankincense. It was one of my dad's favourite oils. It's a very spiritually connecting oil, and it's one that I used a lot when I was free writing. So when I had a lot of thoughts going through my mind and I didn't want my mind cluttered in that way, it's a great one just to put on the corner of your book, or breathe in, or put on in your diffuser and do free writing. Just set a timer, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. Just get all that stuff out of your brain. Just keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Don't think about it. Don't worry what you've written. Don't have any thoughts in mind, just get everything out of your brain. Great one if you've got a mind full of, oh, I can't find that thing, or that person's dying, or I've lost that thing. Anything around loss or grief or those sorts of things. Free writing or just getting everything out in a journal is fantastic, and frankincense really helps with that as a single oil. But in console, you're just going to get that extra whammy of rose and ylang ylang and all those other lovely oils. And then oil number 4, and it's really difficult that I had to work all these out, but oil number 4 is Zengest. So this is the digestive blend. Now this is going to sound a bit weird, but if you are experiencing loss or grief, it is going to affect your digestion and your eating. My eating went very chaotic, but the other lovely thing about the digestive blend, it's going to help you digest those feelings and the process of loss and grief, and that awareness that this is part of life. Like, people are going to experience grief and loss as part of life. It's just the way, but digesting those feelings and how you're going to communicate about that and the things that you're going to want to do around that, the digestive blend really helps with that. And it's got some lovely oils in, all those really yummy ones that are going to help with any digestive issues you've got, whether they're physical or emotional, and is just lovely rubbed on your abdomen. It also smells amazing. If you love fennel, you're going to love the smell of Zengest. And I've heard from other people it's actually really useful if you've got any sinus issues as well. So even though it's the digestive blend, it's another one, because it's got peppermint in, it's going to help you breathe, it's going to help you process stuff. So I just thought I'd go through those 4. If you want to know any further information, I have got this lovely document of like 19 oils that I've gone through. I could talk about oils and all the ones I've used when my dad was dying afterwards until the cows come home, because I use loads. I use them as perfumes because I won't put toxins on my skin. So like those blends are all really lovely as perfumes on your pulse points and everything. I've got them in my diffuser necklaces and all sorts of things. But if you want to know anything more about what I've been talking about, or you can think of anybody else who might want to know about the oils I've used, as I said, I've got this lovely document. I'm going to be writing an ebook about it because I think it's really important to have really simple solutions. When you're feeling overwhelmed after someone's died, for example, you don't want complicated things. You just want a rollable that you can just roll on, that's going to help you support yourself and those around you. If you're going through any sort of transitional loss, as I said, with, you know, I've got a son leaving home soon, that's another time when you're going to be grieving and going through those emotions. These are another fun, you know, all these oils are going to support you with those transitional things. So get in touch if you want to know more. I'm always happy to talk. If you want to share this with someone who you think it might help, I'm always happy to talk to people about this sort of stuff. And remember, you're all fantastic, amazing, wonderful, unique human beings, and you are unique and wonderful when you think about all the people who came before you, who have your back and want you to live an amazing life, all those ancestors. You have power beyond compare. So don't forget that. You're amazing. Take care. Bye.